In honor of episode 69,
Mm.
I thought it was only right for us to discuss the weirdest relationships in comic book history. I have left a lot out here.
Oh,
There was so many options.
okay.
I've just gone with some of my favourites here. I'm going to start with my absolute favourite, which I've mentioned 1,000,001 times.
Okay.
In the Ultimates universe,
Mm-hmm.
Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, who are still brother and sister in this universe, were in a very romantic relationship, including one instance where they were having a picnic that turned sexual while Wolverine watched from the bushes.
Do you
The
know what's
Ultimates universe was a thing.
Do you know what's bad?
Go on.
Is because of one person only ever being Wolverine. You saying Wolverine watching, I'm just picturing Hugh Jackman in a bush watching, and it's the weirdest mental image.
Do you know what the crazy thing is? Because the Ultimates universe, before this point, because it lasted too long, did so much good for Marvel. Because you know how last week we were talking about how you've got to grab the generation and raise the maturity of the content with them so they feel
Yeah.
like it's still relevant.
Yeah.
That's what the Ultimate Universe actually managed to accomplish. It gave us slightly more adult stories that meant them kids who were 13, 14 and they were like, okay, this is a bit kiddie now, had stuff
Yeah.
that felt more relevant to them. And then towards the end of it, it just got batshit crazy, as always happens with stuff. So while I think we're now getting to a point in the discourse where people are starting to realizing that the Ultimates did do a lot of good, despite some of its massive issues. Another one that I really, really enjoy and is hilarious. Jessica Jones. People of the layman will know her from her own Netflix show.
Yep.
In the comics, went to high school with Peter Parker, who she had a massive crush on.
Can you blame
To the point where years later, she found out that Spider-Man was Peter Parker while they were having a superhero-ish kind of meeting at one of the houses during an event, at which time Jessica is married to Luke Cage.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, oh my God, I never knew. I hardly even remember you. And she's like, I was like madly in love with you. What do you mean? To which Luke Cage spits out his coffee and goes, madly in love? You said it was a little crush. Very, very funny.
I like that.
And has led to, as far as I'm aware, in comics even to this day, a little bit of a weird tension between Luke Cage and Spider-Man. Nothing major, just a
like,
general like, I'm not that fond of you. Because you remember, Luke Cage is like this quite stoic, he helps the streets kind of guy. And then you've got Peter, who is loudmouth, doesn't shut up, likes to go it alone a lot of the time instead of working with teams. It's just funny.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, just like you were saying with Hugh Jackman, I imagine the actress who plays Jessica Jones turning up and going to Tom Holland, I had a massive crush on you in high school. And I can imagine that interaction being very, oh, that was nice. Do I know you?
Yeah, that actually would be really funny.
Oh. A lot of these center around Spider-Man, I've got to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And this next one is truly disturbing. Aunt May and Doc Ock.
Now, is this Doc Ock, like full Doc Ock?
It's Dr. Otto Octavius.
Okay, so it's before he's like...
I don't know 100%. I think it might have been during one of his recovery periods where he was sober from being a supervillain.
Okay. Sober from being a supervillain.
They almost got married.
What?
In fact,
I was thinking this is like
married.
a fling.
No. In fact, they may have got married.
Wild.
The worst part, where it gets really bad.
Oh.
So, there was a comic run, a very well-received comic run that people are very fond of, called Superior Spider-Man. in which Dr. Otto Octavius does a mind swap with Peter Parker, Freaky Friday style. And it lasts for a long time.
Oh no.
During which time Otto does act as a hero in Peter's body to prove it was like the ultimate way to one up Spider-Man, that he would be a better Spider-Man than Peter ever could. This is where you get the iconic thing that gets discussed a lot of, oh, Spider-Man's always holding back. Well, at one point while fighting the lizard, no, not lizard, Scorpion, Otto punches his jaw clean off. And that's when he realizes how much Peter's been holding back on him all these years.
Yeah.
And it's actually from that point on, you don't see Otto or Doc Ock fuck with Spider-Man as much. And when he does, he tries to keep it a little bit less physical just in case.
Yeah.
However, as part of this, they got access to each other's memories.
Oh no.
So Peter, as part of the initial process when all their memories come flooding in, got treated to a very enthusiastic May on Doc Ock and Aunt May's wedding day, suggesting it's okay if we're a couple of minutes late to the ceremony.
Oh.
Traumatizing.
Yeah, that's not a memory you want to experience. Oh, poor Peter.
However, not as traumatizing as the next thing.
The thing is, I don't even know which one you're going to pick.
So, I believe this was also the Ultimate Universe. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was. There was another Freaky Friday situation with Spider-Man involving Wolverine. Freaky Friday situations in comic books are actually really common.
Oh.
So during this, as I'm sure you can imagine, Wolverine is trapped in the body of Peter Parker.
Right.
At this time, Peter is 15.
Right.
Logan's a couple of 100 years old mentally.
Yeah.
And he thinks it'd be a great idea to try it on with Mary Jane while in Peter's body. Mary Jane is also 15. It's very creepy. It's creepy if you just take Logan as how he looks as like 35.
Yeah.
Logan, while Hugh Jackman has done a lot for making the character a lot more likable, Logan is very far from a good person a lot of the time. Especially in the Ultimate Universe, they make him a lot scummier. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit.
That's a thing that happened.
That might be the worst one.
Yeah, the other ones are just a bit weird. I mean, incest is bad.
Yeah, but it happens in South America.
Yeah.
The South of America.
Then you've got, I mean, the Aunt May and Doc Ock one really isn't that bad. It's just traumatizing that Peter had to see it.
Yeah.
Jessica Jones having a crush on Peter Parker is just funny. This is genuinely very disturbing.
Yeah, it's a bit like whoever wrote this.
Yeah.
Maybe check on them.
And I think we're on the back half now where it's less funny and more disturbing.
Yeah.
So I don't know what universe this took place in. At one point, one of Tony Stark's Iron Man suits became fully sentient and fell in love with Tony. If this isn't a manifestation of Tony's narcissism, I don't know what is.
This is the thing. This is not too weird. This is just like actually something I could expect from Tony Stark.
Yeah. The problem is when Tony tried to reject his suit,
Uh-oh.
And it went batshit crazy, and then he had to fight his suit like a scorned lover. It's very comic booky.
Yeah.
Again, there's nothing inherently like about that, but it's a bit weird.
I think the Supergirl one's weirder.
Yeah, this next one might be as weird as the Wolverine one, especially once you've got the context to it.
Yeah, because I read this and I was like, what?
Yes. Okay, so Supergirl and her super horse. So, as I'm sure a lot of people will know, Batman has Ace the Bat Hound. Superman has Crypto the Superdog. And Supergirl, not long after her first appearance, got Comet, the super horse. It makes complete sense. The idea was they were making Supergirl to get girls into comics. And what do little girls love? They want a pony.
Yeah.
It is very
cliche.
That part there is no issue with that. I get the logic. Whether you agree with it or not, you've got to understand what angle they were coming at.
Mm-hmm.
The problem comes when, in a number of issues, we got to see like thought bubbles and dreams of the super horse. And the super horse was falling in love with Supergirl. It gets even weirder when the super horse then gained the ability to temporarily and occasionally turn into a human man. During which time they did go on dates. Now, Supergirl has always said it was only ever as friends. But there is also an issue where she has a dream in which she makes an interesting facial expressions while riding the horse. Now, I'm willing to the argument maybe the artist and the writer had a miscommunication. It's still fucking weird.
That's the weirdest. That's the weirdest.
I've got to say, I think the horse kind of being in love with her is one thing.
Yeah.
And I think I understand where they were going, like, okay, well, what if we make him human? Does it make it less weird?
No.
And if they would have just turned him into a human, maybe. Permanently. Yeah, maybe that's salvageable. But then the turning back into a horse and never fully becoming human, and then Supergirl having a weird ass dream, and now the horse not being a thing, really weird.
She had them intrusive thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
And then we're gonna wrap it up with Harley Quinn.
Okay.
Now, Harley Quinn has had a number of romantic relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Most famously, of course, being the Joker, which is a horrible and very abusive relationship.
I was going to say that's certainly a type of relationship.
Yeah. But that is not the weirdest. And before you homophobes get all going and go, oh yeah, it was when she dated the girl. No, that's not weird either. Her and Ivy actually make quite a cute couple. The real weird one was when it was revealed in a comic run called Harley Quinn's Little Black Book, in which she discussed a number of her romantic relationships, that at one point she got trapped on an alternate world and had a romantic weekend with an alternate version of herself, taking the term self-love to a whole new level. It's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. I'm not sure what's more disturbing. The fact that someone had this idea and thought it was a good idea to write it. Or the fact that she managed to find another version of herself who's like, that is a brilliant idea.
The only thing with that one I'm thinking in my head is like, well, she was with the Joker for a long time. That's going to mess you up quite a lot. Realistically, the only person that's going to understand that is yourself.
Yeah, not wrong. Not wrong.
So
very real, very true. But yeah, that is just a drop in the ocean. If anyone's ever bored, you should definitely go and look at some of the weirdest relationships, and like, the less action that you look at in comics, the more funny stuff you're going to find. So there was also a comic numerous years ago in which Superman and Wonder Woman got hypnotized by a villain who in their hypnotized state made them make a pornographic video, which they then used to try and blackmail Wonder Woman and Superman.
Huh?
Comics in the
Oh!
80s were interesting.
Unhinged?
Yes.
Yeah, the writers are wild in.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah. That is one takeaway from that.
Yeah. So, like I said, if you're ever bored, just Google like weirdest comic book moments, and you are going to have a hell of a time just finding all these stupid little stories. Let's get on something a lot more exciting and a lot less funny.